Welcome back to the Foundry by Forge College. So, if you were hanging out with us for the last explainer on key features and user benefits, you already know exactly why we absolutely love DEX aggregators. But today we're getting our hands dirty. We're picking up our digital wrenches and, hey, no grease required, to build a real, executable token swap on the Solana devnet. We'll be using the blueprint of an aggregator API. No more theory, folks. Today, we compile.
Here is our assembly blueprint for today's explainer. We'll quickly look at the swap engine blueprint. Then dive into Step 1, getting a quote. After that, Step 2, assembling the transaction, and Step 3, executing on devnet. Finally, we'll wrap up with troubleshooting and verification, and a quick peek at what comes next. Let's get into it.
All right, Part 1, the swap engine blueprint. Before we start blindly bolting code together, we really need to look at the master schematic of the Node.js script we're building today. I mean, building a swap isn't magic, right? It's just a clean procedural process. First, you get your parts list, fetching the quote and picking your route. Second, you bolt the transaction together and sign it with your keys. And third, you just flip the switch and validate that on-chain state change. Honestly, it really is that straightforward.
Moving right along to Sections 2. Step 1, get a quote.
Okay, so getting a quote is basically like asking a super high-speed travel agent for the absolute best route. Except, your destination is a totally different crypto token. When you ping the aggregator, you've got to send a few essential parameters. First up is the amount, which you'll express in raw LAMP ports. Then you need the mints. Those are just your source and destination addresses. Slippage is your crucial safety net, and platform fees is an optional tag if you're routing partner fees. These are the vital inputs that generate your perfect route. Actually, let's pause on slippage for a second, because this is incredibly important. Slippage tolerance is a strict percentage limit the aggregator absolutely must honor. Think of it this way. Nobody wants to pay $100 for a cup of coffee just because the market sneezed while they were swiping their card, right? That's what this does. It's your ultimate safety limit to prevent terrible executions in highly volatile markets.
All right, on to Section 3. Step 2, assemble the transaction.
Now, here is the genuinely beautiful part. Most modern aggregators are incredibly helpful. They'll actually return the transaction to you neatly packaged as a base 64 string. So all we have to do is parse that base 64 string from the quote.swapTransaction property right into a standard transaction object. Then we set ourselves as the fee payer and partially sign it with our keypair. Boom! It's literally like having a fully built, high-performance engine dropped right onto your workbench, totally ready to go. But what if they don't give you that nice prepackaged string? Well, then you have to assemble it manually. It's kind of like flat-pack furniture, and no, the Allen wrench is not included. You have to create an empty transaction, iterate through and map out the returned instruction objects, append any necessary token account creations or approvals, and then finally sign it with your key pairs. It's definitely more assembly required, but hey, it gives you total, absolute control. Now, if you are doing that manual assembly, this next part trips up a lot of developers. The Associated Token Account, or ATA. This is a required specialized account that holds a specific destination token. You can think of it as a dedicated digital Tupperware container that's strictly required to catch your new tokens. In our broader Forge College learning programs, we actually spend a ton of time on account architecture, because getting this container right is absolutely essential to making anything function on Solana.
Section 4, Step 3, execute on devnet.
Okay, the engine is bolted together, so let's plug this script in. By using a local key pair to sign, we can safely serialize our transaction into raw bytes, submit it straight to a devnet RPC node, and patiently await confirmation. And you know the absolute best part about devnet? We get to test our code and interact with real smart contracts without spending a single drop of real money. It's a total sandbox. Which brings us to Section 5, troubleshooting and verification. So if your script throws an error, seriously, do not panic. Just grab your diagnostic tools and check the logs for these common failure modes. The usual suspects are usually pretty simple. Maybe you have an insufficient balance to pay the network fees, or you've got stale quote parameters because the market moved too fast and caused a CPI call to fail. Sometimes it's a missing associated token account for that destination mint, or maybe your slippage limits just got exceeded. All of these will leave a very clear footprint in your logs, making them super easy to identify and fix. All right, time for our final sanity check. A successful swap means two things happened. Your source token account balance strictly decreased by your input amount plus the network fees, and your destination account strictly increased by your output amount, staying safely within that slippage tolerance we talked about. If those ledgers match up perfectly,
Huge congratulations, my friend. You have successfully built an aggregator swap.
And finally, section 6. What comes next?
You've successfully built, signed, and executed your swap. Awesome job. Next up in this module, we're going to be tackling debugging swap failures and route optimization. We'll build directly on the node artifact you just created today to handle some really complex fallback strategies for when mainnet inevitably decides to not go according to plan. I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up today's explainer. Think about it. If your code can route money optimally across a massive global network in just seconds, what else can it build? What other incredible decentralized systems can you create with this kind of power? To explore that question and dive into more advanced applied protocols, I highly encourage you to visit forge.college. There is a whole world of Web3 topics and comprehensive courses just waiting for you there. Keep building, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.